Hello, welcome to the network. Today I'm going to be showing you how Windows 7 Extended Security Updates, also known as ESU, works, and I'm going to show you that I do have, indeed, a legit ESU license. So, if you're not aware, Microsoft has dropped support for Windows 7. That was back on January 14th, which means they'll no longer provide security updates for Windows 7 unless you have an extended security updates license, an ESU license. Now, this is generally only granted to large corporations and people that have big volume licensing, such as hospitals, banks, etc. However, you can get a legit ESU license by proxying through a cloud service provider known as a CSP. So there's several ways to obtain an ESU license. There's the legit legal way, which is you can pay for the ESU license. I can't remember off top the exact price I paid, but it was like in the $50 to $60 range, and that will be good until next January, so January 2021, and then I pay for the license again, and ESU basically extends Microsoft support security-wise until January 2023. So I can keep using Windows 7 until 2023. And by then, Microsoft will wash their hands with it and no longer provide security patches. And also, by 2023, a lot of programs will start eventually fading out and losing support as well. We've already seen it with a lot of newer equipment not providing drivers and stuff. But for right now, you can still use Windows 7 comfortably until 2023. So the legal way is via cloud service provider if you want to pay for it. That's the way I recommend because, one, it's legit. Two, it's less hassle because you can actually pull down the updates via Windows Update Service just as you normally would. And then there's a bypass method. That's the legal way. And basically, you have to install a script that gives you the ESU updates. Well, how the script works is with ESU updates, you can't just download the updates from the catalog and install them because every ESU updates checks to see if you have a valid license on your system. And of course, if the operating system is supported, which with ESU updates, the only supported OSs are Windows 7 Professional, Ultimate, and Enterprise. Now, there's a lot of people that leave Ultimate off there, but Ultimate is included in that. This is assuming you have a legit registered Windows as well. But the bypass method basically spoofs a license, kind of tells the ESU update, hey, I do have the license, continue to install. Whereas if you were to attempt to install an ESU license, an ESU update, and you didn't have a license, the ESU update would fail. It wouldn't install because the license wouldn't be there. So the bypass doesn't actually give you the updates. It just gives you a fake license that tells the ESU updates, hey, go ahead and install. So if you do the bypass method, which I will explain in my blog post, you have to manually go out each month and download the ESU updates from the Microsoft catalog. And then make sure you have the current patch with the bypass because Microsoft keeps patching it. They keep changing how the license works. They do this thing called a servicing stack that you have to install each month to be able to get to install the latest ESU. And the service stack, if you are a legit ESU customer like I am, I'm legit. My whole computer is legit. My Windows 7 is legit. My Microsoft Office is legit. Adobe products, Sony products, all my software is legit on this computer. By legit, I mean properly paid for, legit license. Nothing shady, no secondhand keys from like Kingwin or any of that bullshit. No, it's all legit, including the ESU updates. So if you have a legit ESU update, these servicing stacks will automatically pull down via Windows Update, and then also the ESU updates will pull down. If you don't have a legit ESU license, you have to install the servicing stack, and then install the issue updates. And you have to make sure that you update the bypass the latest patch, because they have to keep patching. They have to keep updating the patch to work, because Microsoft keeps changing the servicing stack each month. So that's kind of a con. There's downfalls of doing it the legal way. One, you don't automatically get the updates downloaded via Windows Updates. It's a lot more painful. You have to manually do it every month, and you have to know when Patch Tuesday is. Microsoft releases updates every second Tuesday of the month. So it's a monthly basis on the second Tuesday. That's been the standard for operating systems, software. That's been the standard for Windows Update as well. Today is actually April 15th. Now, April 14th was the second Tuesday of April. So yesterday was Patch Tuesday. So I'm a little bit late on the game here. I was going to do the video yesterday, but I forgot to do it. But so you have those two methods. You have the legit way, proxy through a CSP, a cloud service provider. And if you do it that way, they will actually let anyone pay for them, the cloud service provider. They don't care if you're a large business or a small business or an individual. Now, you have to put a business or organization name. So technically, if you have an organization or like a project or whatever you want to call it, say DG, if you're listening, you could put Cake Force in there. You don't have to put LTD. You can just put Cake Force, and they'll take it. They don't audit it. It's not like you're getting an SSL cert, like an EV SSL cert, where they actually audit and look into it. So if you have like an organization like Abe, if you're listening to this, you could put Versilix. It doesn't matter. It just can be vanity, just to put a name in there. And the CSP will give you a legit license in a couple days. They just glance over the organization or business name. They don't care, because actually Microsoft, they were strict when they first came out with the ESUs. They said only big corporations that have existing volume licensing with us. But then they said, okay, we'll let smaller businesses and, mom and pop stores and stuff also have it. And it kind of get a little bit more, the waters got a little bit more muddy. So Microsoft really doesn't care. I mean, you're still paying for the license, so who gives a shit, right? So if you proxy through a cloud service provider, they don't care if you're a big corporation or a small business or an individual with just a project or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, whereas if you went to Microsoft, no, you have to be an existing entity. You have to already have a big volume license with Microsoft. But if you go through a cloud service provider, you can basically get the license by proxying through the cloud service provider. And it worked. A couple days later, they sent me a legit key, and I installed the ESU license following the procedure, and it works. So, and then there's also the bypass way, but you have to go out and manually download the updates from the Microsoft catalog. You have to know what the updates are. So to know what the updates are, you have to know the KB numbers. So you'll go to this link right here, which is the Windows 7 SP1 Service Pack 1 and Windows Server 2008 update history. So each Patch Tuesday, they're going to show you the updates. So if we go right here, you're going to see April 14th. That was this month's updates, our Patch Tuesday. And the KB is KB 4550964. And this is public for anybody to see. This right here, this update history page, it's public. You don't have to have an ESU license to see this page. So you'll go right here, and you'll notice there's two of them. You'll notice there's a monthly roll-up and then a security-only update. Now, the security-only update just includes just the security update patches. So this will download and install very quickly. But how most, if you've been using Windows Update, it's gonna probably use the monthly roll-up. The monthly roll-up means this week's security updates plus everything in the past. So this takes a while to download, because it can be several hundred megabytes to like a gig or whatever. Whereas this can be very, very small. And you're like, why can't I do the security-only update? Well, it depends on how your computer, how your Windows Update has installed updates in the past. Usually the security-only update is usually on corporate networks. they'll have it configured to where they do this to save bandwidth because they have thousands of computers. So on your computer, you're most likely going to be getting the monthly roll-up. And you can download each one and see which one installs because one will fail. And here's the thing, don't install both of them, okay? If one installs, don't install the other. I made that mistake where I installed the monthly rollup and the security only update, and it ended up breaking my Windows update. Like it wouldn't work. So I had to manually go to command prompt and manually uninstall this KB. And you don't need to install both of these because they both have the same exact security patches in them. They're just they're just bundled differently. This means just the patches. This means this month's patches and all the patches in the past. So it rolls it up together. It's really weird. But that's just how Microsoft does it. So I actually recommend you try the monthly rollup first. That's probably going to be the one your computer uses. If it fails to install, you'll get the security only update one. If this does install, don't install the security update one. You are good to go. Make sense? So you're going to get the KB for this week's patch Tuesday, or this month's patch Tuesday. And as you can see, it's KB 4550964. And then you'll have to go to the Microsoft catalog. Now, since I have a legit USU license, I don't have to do this. I just install updates as I did before Windows 7 dropped support. Microsoft Update will just pop up in the corner saying, hey, new updates available, basically. And it's business as usual. Whereas if you're using the illegal bypass way, you have to manually do it because the illegal bypass way, they haven't scripted it yet to be able to automatically pull down from the Windows Update service. So you go to catalog.update.microsoft.com, and this is actually where you can download the updates manually and have them as a file rather than using the Windows Update program on your computer. And I know it looks old school because they've had the update catalog for a very long time. Windows 2000, Windows XP era. They just never got around to updating the site to make it look modern. So what you'll do is you'll copy this KB and you'll hit search. And as you can see, it pops up like 4 or 5 different ones here. That's for the different systems, whether it be 32-bit, 64. So you have to get the one that's for yours. So as you can see right here, Windows Embedded Standard, that's like the POS version of Windows 7 for like cash registers. That's not what you want. And as you can see, it does say 2020-04. That means April. That means the security updates for April. So what you're going to want is you're going to actually want right here, Windows 7 for x64 based systems. This is one you're going to want to download. x86 if you are using 32-bit. And they also have Windows Server 2008, but that's not what we have. We have Windows 7, 64-bit. Now, if you have 32-bit, which I hope you don't, but if you have 32-bit, you'll use the x86 one. If you have 64-bit, don't use this one. Use the x64. You'll just hover over here. You'll click download. You can see the size right here, 329.6 megabytes, because this is the monthly roll-up where it combines everything together, whereas the security update only one will be smaller. And you can also click on it and get more info, but it's not going to tell. They don't tell you anything on here. They don't tell you what they patched. You have to go to a different site for that. But you'll have to manually download this. You'll install the latest version of the ESU bypass tool. And you may also need to install the servicing stack first. So you actually need to know what the servicing stack update is. It doesn't say that on here. Right here. So the March 12th, 2019 Servicing Stack Update, SSU. That's what they call it, Servicing Stack Update. You have to install these each month because Microsoft changes how the ESU license works each month. Your license will always stay valid, but they just change like the algorithm to try to, fuck up the illegal ways of, the bypass tool. Because Microsoft knows the bypass tool exists. So they try to circumvent them. Every month they change the system. And of course, the developer of the bypass tool has to update the patch every month. So that's the downfall of doing the things the legal way. And I'm just telling you how to do it this method if you want to. I have the legit method, and I'll show you why you should have the legit method. So you'll have to also download this. So this is the March Servicing Stack update for Windows 7. And I believe you do have to restart the computer for this one and do the updates. So we'll copy this KB number, pop it in the Microsoft catalog. Like I said, you'll click download on the Windows 7 for x64 because you're running 64-bit, right? You'll download that, but before you install that, you have to download this Servicing Stack update. You'll probably first need to update the bypass tool. Update that first, then do the Servicing Stack update, which will be this one right here, Windows 7 for x64. So you see it's only 9 megabytes because it's just a change of like the algorithm. So you download that, then you download and install the monthly rollup, and it should install because the bypass tool will say, "Hey, I have a legit USU license," when you don't. But it'll spoof it. It'll tell the ESU update, "Yes, go ahead and install. I have a license," and it will install. So that's like the legal way of doing it. I didn't show the site for the legal bypass tool one here, but if you did a little bit digging around, or if you looked at my blog post that will be listed, it's gonna go into detail about that tool. Okay, I'm not gonna get into details on it on this. Okay, so the legit way is to proxy through a cloud service provider, and I'm not gonna mention it in the video, but it will be mentioned on the blog post, or you can actually go to Microsoft's site and go to their cloud service provider page, search for one in your area. Usually it's just going to be for your country. You search for one like in the United States. You go to each one of those ones and see which one's the best. I recommend the one I used, and it will be on my blog post, which I believe it was IT Solutions. So you go to you'll just search cloud solution provider, cloud service provider. So you go to partner.microsoft.com, ENUS membership, cloud solution provider, also can call cloud service provider, whatever. You'll hit find a provider, and then we're going to do United States. Now I actually recommend you can proxy through me, and I actually recommend that method because these cloud solutions providers, they'll usually charge you a fee to sign up with them. So if you're already signed up with a cloud service solutions provider, you can waive that fee and just have to pay just the ESU license price without having to have that additional sign up fee on top. So if you're my friend or you know me, just reach out to me. If you want it legit, just reach out to me. Be like, "Hey, GTXL, I want an ESU license." And of course, I tell you the price or whatever, and I'll give you the key, a legit key. So proxy through me because I already have an account and everything with a cloud service provider. So you'll waive that fee because I think the sign up fee was like $50 or something like that. So you're paying $50 for the sign up fee, and then $50 for the issue license. It ends up being like $100 some. That's kind of crazy, right? But if you proxy through me, it just ends up being $50. Makes sense. But you'll look for a cloud service provider. I don't think I see mine on here. Maybe it's because it was on global. But yeah. Anyway, the actual links and stuff will be in the description for that cloud service provider, and you just buy it like you're buying something somewhere else. Put in like a vanity name for the business or organization. Boom, profit, right? Okay, so this month's Patch Tuesday. Now I'm a bit behind on making this video because we've had a couple now. Obviously January 14th wasn't an ESU cycle. That was the last Patch Tuesday that Microsoft offered to everybody. So these ones that you see after January 14th, these are all for the elite class like me that have an ESU license. So if you have Windows 7, you don't have an ESU license, or you don't have the bypass or whatever, none of these updates here are available to you. Hence, Microsoft dropped support, right? But they dropped support for certain people. So the February, that was the first ESU Patch Tuesday, and I was able to install that. and then March 10th. Now, I was making a video on the March 10th one, but I forgot to copy my video file off the RAM disk because my OBS saves to the RAM disk for performance reasons and plus to limit the writes on my SSD and stuff. So I ended up restarting the computer, and I'm like, dope, I forgot to copy the video out of the RAM disk, and I lost the video I made on March. So I had to wait until the next cycle, right? Next patch Tuesday. So here we are for the April 14th. So this just shows the KB. They don't tell you anything in here. They just tell you how to install the update. And they say that you have to have an ESU license. Okay? So they tell you right here, you know, this is ESU license only. And then so you have these two. So what did these actually change? Well, if you could actually go to the Microsoft's security update guide. I think they call this the Microsoft Security Research Center or something like that, MSRC. And right here, April 2020 security updates. This is Patch Tuesday. So here is all the vulnerabilities. Here's all the CVE numbers that were patched for this Patch Tuesday. Now, of course, some of these were going to be for Windows 10 only, and some will apply to both, and some will just apply to Windows 7. So here you can actually see all the things that were patched this month. You know, it'll tell you each one, you know, how bad it is. Like this one right here, kind of like a minor one, and it shows you the updates to patch it. And this one might be a Windows 10 only, because some of these only affect Windows 10. Because Windows 10 has all that extra app garbage and shit, so it has a much more stuff that's full of holes. Okay, this is for Microsoft Office. Windows kernel information disclosure vulnerability. So right here, you see Windows 7. See, Windows 7 still gets security updates. You just have to have the license. And it shows you right here, it's included within the monthly roll-up, which is, you know, 0964. See? So this shows you right here all the actual things that were patched. I wish they'd just show it in the fucking release notes on the KB itself. They kind of make it hard. You have to like jump all over to find out, you know, what was patched. So quite a few of them. Microsoft Excel remote code execution vulnerability. Some of these will, of course, will be for the Office suite as well. SharePoint. And then here's an actual overview of like the major ones. So right here, Windows 7, of course, ESU only, right? Because if you don't have an ESU license, you don't get any of these updates. So 37 vulnerabilities, 5 critical and 32 important. Here are the main ones that they fixed that are, you know, kind of serious. There was a few things wrong with Adobe's font manager library. And if you look right here, Windows 10, 60 vulnerabilities, 6 critical, 54 important. Look at Windows 7. And they say Windows 10 is more secure. Yeah, right. And here's the latest version. The latest version actually has more vulnerabilities. 63, 7 critical, and 56 important. Yeah. Because Windows 10 has all that extra garbage, resulting in more security holes, right? If you have a bunch more shit on your computer that you don't need, you're looking at a big gaping fucking hole of, you know, vulnerabilities. So they have to patch a lot more things, you know? Whereas Windows 7 slimmed down, doesn't have all that garbage, so when it comes to Windows 7, mainly they just have to patch the core, you know, the kernel. But I just found that funny, you know? Doesn't surprise me one fucking bit. So here's all the actual security updates that were patched. This, and of course, Windows 7 is on there. So I'm going to now show you how we get the updates legit. Okay, so we're on my main screen here. And as you can see, I do still run Windows 7. I run Windows 7 Ultimate, legit license. And if you notice up here, the little Windows Update icon's up there now. New updates available. You won't see this if you don't have an ESU license. Even if you're using the bypass, you won't see this. You have to manually go and fetch them. You have to manually know to do it, right? So I click on this. It comes up. Now it's going to show one important update. So let's click on this. And then right here, look at that. 2020-04. That's April. That's correct. It is April. See right here, April 15th. Patch Tuesday was yesterday. I was going to make the video yesterday, but, I was busy. So right here, it automatically shows up in my Windows Update because I have a legit ESU license. So 330 megabytes. We'll hit OK. We'll hit install. Now it didn't bring down the servicing stack because I think how the servicing stack works is it's for next month. So the servicing stack for this month was the one that was offered in March. Does that make sense? So now it's out downloading them. You can see right here downloading. Takes a little while because DSL. But if I do go to view update history while that's doing its thing, you'll notice right here 2020-03 servicing stack update, which that was required in order to install this month's updates. Okay, so 2020-03 will give you 2020-04 updates because they change the algorithm each month. So after I do this update, I'm pretty sure if I just refresh the updates, there will be a servicing stack update that will be for next month. And as you see right here, 2020-03 security monthly quality rollup. That was all the patches for March. Of course, see right here, 3/10/2020, right? 2020-03. You're not going to be able to get that if you don't have an ESU. This is proof right here. I'm showing you. Yes, I legit have an ESU license. 2020-02. That's a servicing stack update, and then here is the actual patches. And as you can see, successful, right? If you were just to install them on your computer normally, try to install them, they would fail. It'd say failed because you don't have a legit license. And you will actually have 2020-01 because that was the last publicly released one. Then they ended support. But I'm still in support because I have an ESU license. Now, if you do the bypass, you'll, of course, install the bypass, the latest version of it, install the previous week's servicing stack. So you install 2020-03 servicing stack, then you install 2020-04 monthly rollup. And it would successfully install because you have the bypass tool spoofing, hey, I have a license, when you really don't. So that's how that works. As you see, it's downloading. I also see there's a Java update, so I'll do that before I do my restart as well. But there is a lot of things getting patched each month, so it is not wise to not be patching your system and just running unsupported because there is a lot of vulnerabilities that are still being discovered, and it's really stupid to not install these updates, especially when they're still being made available. Microsoft is still patching the OS, so while they're still doing it, you might as well still actually be installing updates to remain secure. As you can see right there, installing updates. Look at that. That's an SSD for you. The slowest thing was the internet download speed. It downloaded pretty fast, but probably because one, CenturyLink would have really good peering to Microsoft, and two, they probably do compress that download. Oh, and as you can see right here, the updates were successfully installed. Right here, succeeded. So I am up to date. I am patched. All the security vulnerabilities patched. People say, "Oh, you're still under Windows 7." They're fear-mongering. Ooh, you're insecure, bro. I just installed the latest version of the updates. And I might as well show you. I do have Windows 7 Ultimate, as you can see right here. And no, this isn't actual your product key. This is the product ID number. So somebody can't get your product key from this. Just throwing that out there. Windows 7 Ultimate, 64-bit. Service Pack 1. So, yeah. VSU updates do work on Windows 7 Ultimate. There's a lot of people say, oh, nope, it's for Pro and Enterprise only. And you have to be a big corporation. You have to be Enterprise. I'm not Enterprise. And I'm not running Windows 7 Pro or Enterprise. I'm running Windows 7 Ultimate. And the legit license will install and will work on Windows 7 Ultimate. Microsoft does support Windows 7 Ultimate because there are companies that use it. Okay? There's not companies that use Windows 7 Home Premium. So if you have Windows 7 Home Premium, you can't get a legit license. However, the bypass tool spoofs the support. So actually, if you have Windows 7 Home Premium, you would have to use the bypass tool because you can't get a legit license. The bypass tool will say, hey, I have a legit license. Go ahead and install them anyway. And the updates will pretty much work for the most part. So if you have Windows 7 Home Premium, it's not officially supported, but it is supported with the bypass tool. Kind of neat. Now there is a third option. Say you don't want, say you want to still be legal, but you don't want to pay Microsoft. You don't want to go the Microsoft way. There is a company called Zero Patch that they are offering security updates for Windows 7 until 2023, and I think it's only like $25 a year. So it's actually a lot cheaper than going the official route, but you're going through a security firm, and they reverse engineer the patches and stuff legally somehow, and they implement their own solution for the vulnerabilities. So if there's 0 days that come out vulnerabilities, and they mainly only patch the major ones, the ones that are concerning. They don't really bother with the minor stuff that gets patched. So that's something you do miss out on if you don't go the official route, is you won't get the minor fixes. But the gaping holes and stuff like that, or if there's, vulnerability, like the Adobe thing, the Adobe font remote code execution, that was patched with Zero Patch. Zero Patch, they reverse engineer the patches, or they since they're a security firm, they come up with their own method of securing the vulnerabilities. And that is available to individuals. So not just businesses. So you can go out and buy this from Zero Patch, $25 a year. And they do give you legit updates. Well, not from Microsoft. They do their own updates. It's different. That's another option. I highly recommend you proxy through me and get a legit ESU license. But you have those three options. It's up to you. If this is like your main computer and you care about it and everything's legit on it, you're like, you know what? I want legit ESU license. I like how it just pulls the updates down automatically for Windows Update, just installs like normal. You can proxy through me. And don't quote me on the price. I will put it in an overlay and also in the description, the actual price. I think it was around like $50. Now, it does increase each year, which sucks. But for me, I don't give a shit. I'm going to fucking pay for it because I'm riding this out till 2023. But I think next year it'll bump to like $100. And then when you buy a license, it's valid for a year. And you can't buy it all at once. You have to wait until 2021 to be able to buy 2021's license. It's kind of weird how it works. But you pay per year. up until 2023, because that's when they officially end. So anyway, this is how ESU updates work. They've successfully installed. I'm going to go ahead and also get this Java update to install. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, concerns, you can email me, gtexcel@gtexcel.net. You can also reach out in the comments. I will be trying my best to work on the blog post, which will be more in detail of how to actually pay for the legit ESU license, how to actually install it, the process, the bypass process, and the zero patch process as well. And also explain how you can keep using Windows 7 until 2023, program support, driver support, hardware support, stuff like that. I'll also explain all that stuff as well. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.